Hello everyone, you're watching HTML Crash Course Part 5 and Forms Part 2. In this video, we'll be covering advanced form concepts and get ready after the intro of my channel. A quick note before we go to the next slide. I'll be uploading the code for this particular video in the code pen and I'll be sharing the link down below in the description. You can check out the code if you want to. Otherwise, later you can just code along with me and do whatsoever you want to. Okay, so please practice with the code or you can play around with the code and let's continue. Alright then, before I go further, I want to introduce you to MDN. So MDN stands for Mozilla Developer Network and it's resources for developers by the developers. So this is a really an official documentation for anything like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, mainly for development. Or maybe web development, software development, app development, we can search MDN. So if you search HTML forms, I have already searched that and it's loading data. And when I go to web forms, that's what we want. And I scroll down, I get input reference. I want to go that. So this is gonna give a input type reference. Okay, so we have tons of them. So whatever is given marked as HTML5 are the latest and greatest, which we covered here. Color we covered. We didn't cover date. We'll cover soon. That's no problem. It's gonna give a dead picker, and you can also check whatever you want. If this seems interesting, you can play around with it. So that is MDN, and this is the place where you find doubts. To do so, you can just type if you are having a doubt with button, you can say button MDN. Okay, so we get the button element reference in MDN, and you can play around here. So wow, this is a button, and don't worry about the CSS. Just see the HTML markup, and we have many attributes for this. So they have a tons of list of things. Okay, so they would say this in Firefox, how it's gonna compatible, how it is compatible, and Firefox compatibility, Chrome compatibility, all those stuffs. That's it, I guess, for MDN. Let's get coding. Now I want to answer the question which you might have: what advanced concepts and why we are learning these things? It seems to be too complicated, is it not? Badly not, because these are all really important concepts. And why do I call them advanced concepts? I state them advanced concepts because those are high level and they come in hand to hand with server side programming and JavaScript. But these are really good things you can know now, but if you don't know, it's not gonna have a big impact. So learning this is not a compulsory, but I recommend to do so. So yes, we have a really few concepts to cover because advanced concepts they are not a lot. Important concepts we are gonna focus just on important things because this is a crash course. This is not a full course. We are not gonna cover each and every bit of HTML syntax. We're gonna cover the most important things, which you will use 80%. The 20% of things which are gonna be using 80%. In this case, we are gonna cover the half of it, 10%. So bear with me for this video alone. The next video or the after the next video we'll be making a project. Next video we'll be starting to make, and after that we'll be finishing the project, the very last video of the series. And that's a surprise. I don't want to leak the secret. So without a further ado, let's get started with really interesting attributes, name and value. I said those are interesting attributes. Oh, my tongue is slipping. But those are not too easy to learn. Those are a little difficult and little tricky to understand at first. Even I struggled to understand these two attributes, name and value. So this is the definition which is the most appropriate, I think. So name attribute is an attribute given to any input field. This is a really understandable sentence and its purpose is to give an identity to the data which the user inputs or select. Sorry for the previous slide movement. Let's break this down. Name attribute is an attribute given to any input field. Okay, I accept that. Its purpose is to give an identity to the data which the user inputs or selects. So, we'll see the next attribute and come to this point. Value is the basically the data which the user inputs or selects. So when a user selects a button in the option tag, oh, not a button. Basically, I'm gonna go to Sublime and show you what. When the user selects anything, any option here inside the select, I have opened. Oh, this is forms to form, and I have just changed the title and heading, and open that here in the browser. So when the user selects this, the value of that is going to be January. So when the user types anything here, like John, for example, the value of this input field is going to be John. That is value, whatever the user types or selects. But here, this is really interconnected with name attribute. Its purpose is to give an identity to the data which the user inputs or selects. This is actually the data which the user inputs or selects. And we can replace this we can refresh this sentence with data, this particular clause. Like data which the user inputs or selects, we can replace that with value. So its purpose is to give an identity to the value. That's it. Value, the value attribute. Okay. So we'll see what is name value pair shortly. So I want to give name to all these things. So name and it's going to be username. Very good intelligence. Name is going to be email. And we're going to have a name is going to be, wait a minute, password. And I guess that's all we need. I need to go to slide. And now if I type username John, email, and some password, notice that we can see a name value pair here. So that you can see username John, email John at the rate. At the rate is hidden because this cannot be in the query string, but we'll sure get it in the server. Okay, John at the Google. This is a name value pair. This is the value. This is the name here, and this is the value is the user inputted. So this is name value pair. In the case of select, how is it going to be? So let's see how it is. I'm going to give a name here. It's going to be month. Refresh, and I'm going to give John. Email John to go to UK, and password is going to be something. When I select Feb, and when I submit, wait, you can see month equal to February. So this is going to be either. So the name is going to be assigned to any value which the user selects. So whatever the text here is going to be assigned as the value. But when the user doesn't select anything, the default here is month, is it not? That case, it's going to have the value is going to be month. In that scenario, we are going to have a virtual value like none here. Okay, so this will not be displayed, but this option has the value of none, and this is not displayed. The text displays month, but the value we are specifying it. We can do that here. We can set Jan, Feb, but we don't want to do that here. We just want to do that here. But now when I submit, we can submit like that, and you can see value is none. Month, the value is none. Don't worry about the value is empty here, but the value of month is none. I guess you understood this thing. And the next thing we have is for bio. Let's give a name attribute here to be bio. Okay. And color is gonna be name attribute is gonna be color. And that's it. Save and let's refresh. And let's fill out every field. So okay. February. And I'm gonna select some color. Okay. A random choice. That's good, right? We get every piece of detail over here. Awesome. I guess that's it for name and value pairs. And next up, we are gonna learn radio button. Okay, what is radio button? So, as per the definition of MDN, this is what this I have taken from MDN right here. It says that input elements of type radio are generally used in radio groups. Collection of radio buttons describing a set of related options. Only one button in a given group can be selected at a time. Okay? Radio buttons are typically rendered as small circles which are filled or highlighted when selected. This statement is absolutely fine, but how is that? Let's break down this. Input elements of type radio are generally used in radio groups, collections of radio buttons describing a set of related options. Oh my god, this is so difficult to understand. Okay, so Imagine you are going to attend a high school examination. That case, you get multiple choice questions. What do you do digitally? Okay, for example, you are attending a digital exam in a website. You get multiple choice questions. That case, you can only select one option. This is not. You cannot select multiple options. I'm right. Yes, I'm right. So that case, we use radio buttons. So radio groups are a set of similar options. Only one radio button in a given group can be selected at a time. At a time, you can only select one radio button. So radio buttons are typically rendered as small circles which are filled or highlighted when selected. So when we click or when we select them, it's going to be filled. And this is the place where name becomes so useful. So another purpose of name is grouping radio buttons. And this is the second purpose of name attribute. Let's see them in action. So I'd come to MDN and I have a good resource here. So this is actually a radio group. Why is that? Because these things are having similar things, okay? Similar options. How can we identify a group when the name is same for the three radio buttons? It's a group. So name here in this case, three, the names are same. So it is a radio group. We can only select one of here. And so in that case, it's a radio group, is it not? So let's do some changes here. This is actually really an interactive editor you can do. I change this to drone 2. I can select this and this, both of them. Why is that? Because the name 2 has a value of dwav. So when I select, it gets a value. So when I select things, it actually gets the value of dwav. But when I select name 1, the value name drone has value of y. But when I select last one, now the drone's value is Louis. So the browser gets a decision to take whether to stay with Hui and or update to Louis. But it updates whatever the user selects. When the user selects this, it updates the drone's value to be Hui. When I select this, it updates the drone's value to be Louis. But this doesn't get updated because this is different name and this is not grouped anymore. Okay, so this is how we are grouping things. Now you can only select one thing. So this is auto saved. No need to hit Control S and refresh in the browser. This is auto saved. This is a browser based editor. Don't worry about the CSS here. If you click on, there's nothing much here, but no need to worry about it now. Let's focus on HTML, and I want to just copy these things. And these div act as BR to say. These are actually generic containers. If you flash back to video 2, video learned divs. Okay, so BR. So what if this happens to you? What should you do when you're copy pasting code from anywhere? This first line is correct, but the second, all the other line. Why is that? This is an indent. Actually, I didn't mention this. This is an indent. Actually, this actually makes a code cleaner. This still works, and there's no indent. Why I'm going to the slide? It still works. It still works the same. Okay, but it doesn't look neat. Isn't it? So I'll just select entire thing and hit tab twice to get the proper indent, to get in line with these all the other elements. So it actually differentiates a block of text. So this select has multiple option tags inside it. So this is actually differentiates from the parent child siblings things. Okay. So I don't expect you to understand each and everything now. You can pick up these whenever you go and make a project and you will understand each and everything. How does these work when you put things together? The next thing we are going to be learning is checkbox. Checkboxes are no more than a box where user either checks or unchecks things. We have another resource from MDN checkbox. This definition is really complex. I don't want to go through this, but you can see here the demo here. You can check and uncheck, and I'll come to this checked attribute soon. But this is that checkboxes. That's it. Again, we'll just do this same thing. Copy pasting things are really easy than typing everything out from scratch. We have the same problem. We didn't indent them properly. This is called an indent, a tab. So A tab space is an indent. Double tab is double indent. Okay, indent. This really matters in Python, but in HTML doesn't matter. So you can select both. And this checked attribute is basically a boolean attribute. What is boolean? Boolean is either true or false. That's boolean. So if it is present, this attribute, this name is actually, if this name is present in this input field, it's going to be true. Checked is equal to true. But when it is not present here, it's going to be false. That is it. So we can remove this because we don't want this to be present. And we have another attribute called required. So same way, it's actually going to be a boolean attribute. Why Sublime does that? It never cannot guess that. We never need equal to here because when this is present, the value of it is automatically being true. Okay. So what else we can give? We cannot give anything else. We can, yeah, that is enough. Only for these three are really important things. And John at the google.uk, and we have some password. We select a month, January. We enter some bio text, and we select something, and we hit go. We get the entire thing here. Okay, so, and I want to mention the two things, and I want to close this video. One is the developer tools. I have shown this in the second video, showing displaying third video, telling inline and block level elements. I think so, third or second video. I don't remember that. That's a month or two ago. But these are really useful tools whenever you come to JavaScript or CSS. You can see the styles of the particular thing. You can see the head displays none because it's not displayed anywhere. We can change that. We'll do that. So now immediately. So what you do is that you display block. Okay. So we add a style here. This don't need to worry about this. It's gonna be block. Okay. And now and it vanishes. So when you refresh it's gonna vanish. Okay. So that's it, I guess, for this video. And the last thing I need to show, forgot that. And it's gonna be comment. So control and slash gives you a comment, or the longer way it's a bracket and exclamatory and dash dash. It's gonna be a comment, so it grayed out everything. It's gonna be forms. I want to type forms. What is a comment? Basically it's just gonna ignore the HTML. Browser is gonna ignore this particular thing and say, hey browser, do not render this in the here, render this here. Okay, so it's gonna not render here, and we're gonna see the rest of the content. And this is basically for notifying other developers that what is going on here. You can notify here, as this is gonna be actually this is gonna be username input. We can do that, but this is self-explanatory, so you can do things like that. And that's why comments are really useful. And the second use case of comments is that commenting your code. Voila. And now this is not displayed in the browser anymore. You can see that because of this thing. Okay. Now to uncomment this, select thing to toggle between comment and comment. You should select the text which you want to comment or which you want to uncomment, and hit control slash or comment slash. Why is this missing? Okay, you want to comment everything, you can say control and slash. It's going to select the content which you want to comment and control slash. Voila, it's commented. And uncomment the same way, control slash. And that's it for this video, I guess. Hope you enjoyed this video, and you'll enjoy the next two videos because that's going to be really interesting. We're going to learn about clean code and other stuff. And thanks for now. Thanks for watching. And cute little lion, is it not? So I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.